Just shut up and go fishing, man.
Yep. It's Jake's Take. That's right. It's back in your life. The ultimate Bassmaster behind the scenes show with Bassmaster videographer Jake Latendresse, Jake's Take. We get into the crazy AOY week ahead and everybody that has something on the line this week in the St. Lawrence River. And we address some Bassmaster rumors. Yes, we do. Jake Latendresse joins me this week on...
I'm Bob Cobb from the Bassmaster. Welcome to Mercer.
So, welcome one, welcome all, friends, family, freeloaders, fishing freaks, and of course you, my humpers. Happy hump day to all of you, and welcome into the Awkwardly Honest Fishing Podcast that goes by my last name, which is Mercer. This is the 277th edition of the Mercer Podcast, and I hope wherever you're watching or listening from, that life is treating you well. Boy, it's a big week. It is a big, big week in my world, and if you're a bass fishing fan, it's a big week in your world. It all gets decided this week on the St. Lawrence River. This show comes out Wednesday night, as always. So tomorrow morning, it all gets cracking. And it is going to be a phenomenal Angler of the Year race. It is going to be a phenomenal tournament. It's just we're going to celebrate some careers. There's just a lot going on this week. So if you're anywhere near Clayton, New York, get over there. We got a bigger venue, more parking, more everything. Let's jam that place because there's a lot to celebrate here this week. But just to let you into my world, it's not all celebration coming from the week off. So I had a big plan. I had a big plan during this break. And I had opportunities to stay and, fish with guys in Champlain and stuff, which would have been great. But I said, no, I'm shooting some shows. And one show in particular that was, really driving this bus was something I had dreamt up. And it was supposed to be so beautiful, so epic. So this season coming up is our 20th season of Facts of Fishing. It's hard to believe. Mind-blowing that's been around here. I remember when we started, I was like, I will never do a show 20 years. And now I'm like, well, I don't know what else to do. So I had this big plan. There was a golf course. It was supposed to be full of fish, and they wanted us to, they're like, hey, you can come fish our ponds. And I've always had this idea of this cool pond fishing show. And I mean, it's golf. It's our 20th season. What better way to, get out there and show how classy Facts of Fishing is than golf it up. I mean, I was going to get a green jacket, some Payne Stewart knickers. I was going to golf it up and while I fished these ponds. And then we got thinking, we've got this opportunity, and I'm like, well, we need a caddy. And who are we going to get to caddy? And I thought of my buddy Gooch. I mean, but Gooch is, he's a successful businessman. He's busy. He doesn't have time. He'll never agree to this, to get done up in a big giant Teletubby onesie. There's no way Gooch is going to agree. He does. The whole way along, I keep throwing out these ideas and nobody says no. Everybody says yes. And that's where it all went wrong. They should have reined me in at some point, but it all came together. We spent more money than we've ever spent on any shoot on our wardrobe. And I'm telling you, we were styling and profiling. I mean, this is the opportunity to show the picture. I mean, doesn't that picture right there screams, we're going to have an incredible TV show. So I arranged it all, got up at 3:30 in the morning to go pick up Gooch and get to where this location is. And, the crew got there, everything got there. I mean, he took a day off work, but we're going to make this epic show. We show up at the golf course. I mean, it is beautiful. It is gorgeous. It is, just like, it's got that Augusta vibe about it. We're dressed head to toe in our golfing best. We pass the ponds on the way, and you're like, there's going to be so much fish. Well, long story short, we caught 2 fish. Oh, and 3 tiny pike that were this big, super cute and cool looking, but 2 fish, sorry. Two fish, maybe a fish and a half. They weren't big. And how we caught them was we had to dead stick a Berkeley General to make them bite. So I don't know if we showed up at the wrong time or what. The people at the golf course were awesome, and I cannot thank them enough. But the fish screwed us. So now this epic piece of cinema will never make it to the world. And the weirdest part about it all was when we were putting the outfits together and it kept growing. I never once stopped to think about, I kept thinking how great this is going to look on camera, but I never once stopped to think about how weird it will be to wear those outfits in front of people that actually love golf. I think we confused some of them. I think we brought joy to some of them. But yeah, we never brought a TV show to the world. So sometimes you can try and it just fails. That's my lesson this week. But hey, humpers, if any of you know a golf course that is teeming with dumb fish, holler at me because we still have the outfits. The show needs to be made. Golf courses, this is your opportunity. I mean, we'll show your logo. We're not shy. We just need really dumb fish because evidently the ones at the course we went to were not dumb enough for me. So yeah, so there's that, and then on top of that, so I'm having a lot of great things this week. I mean, I can hide it and talk weird, but I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna be honest. So, due to earlier in life, what side is it? Earlier in life, there we go. I lost a tooth. So that's actually been an implant. And I thought I was I'm an idiot. I don't know if you realize this, but everything in my life is last minute. No matter how much time I have to do it, it always happens last minute. And because of that, I always screw up. Well, I decided I'm not going to be a last minute guy. And the implant that I have got a little loose. I don't know how, but it's just a tiny bit. Like you just grab it with 2 fingers. So I'm going to address this, right? Well, I made an appointment, but there became another appointment available this past Friday. And hey, I'm going to go in, but I could leave this until after the Bassmaster event, but I'm going to address things. I'm not going to leave it. I'm going to do the right thing. So I was literally just about on my way to Lake Simcoe, and where I was it was a beautiful day, perfect weather. And I said, no, this opportunity has come available. I'm going to turn around. I'm going to go to the dentist appointment, and I'm going to have this assessed so that they can fix it, because they said it was just going to be a quick fix. And then I've got Monday and Tuesday to fish. Well, no, it wasn't a quick fix. Turns out that, they've never seen an implant break like that before. So I left said dentist without a tooth. So that's cute. How come it's so weird that's not even the right shot. It's so weird to do that there it is, right there. Yeah, that's it. Anyways, so left there without a tooth. And now they're trying to figure out who can fix said problem and get me a new implant. I should have never went. I should have went fishing. The weather sucked on Monday and Tuesday. The lesson I learned from that is, damn it, do everything in the last minute. And because you'd have a tooth. So now I'm going to have to go to the final Elite Series event without a tooth. So that'll be cute. So here's a lesson in life. Leave everything to the last minute and keep all your teeth, because you find yourself in a situation. I've really opened up to you guys this opening. I mean, let me know if you like it. Do you like hearing more about me, or would you like me just to shut up and bring the guest in? Good news is, if you like me to open up and tell the stories, well, you just heard them. Or if you'd like me just to shut up and bring the guest in, that's what I'm going to do now. So without further ado, let's jump right into things. And we get into some stuff. We talk about the whole Angler of the Year, everything. We talk about some weird rumors that are floating around about Bassmaster. And we get into some stuff. There's my juicy little tease to keep you around. Without further ado, how about Jake's take? Back in your life. Jake's take, back in your life. And dude, this week that we are going into is to me is a fascinating week. What a freaking Angler of the Year race. I mean, it
might as well be tied. I mean,
yeah,
it might as well be tied at the top three.
And it's weird because the guy in third is the guy that everybody's pointing, well, that's going to, you know what I mean? Like that, they got to beat him, right? I mean, I don't think, is that an insult to say that? Like that's what the belief is.
But you know, Drew Cook and Trey McKinney are like in the zone right now, right? So who's going to get in Cory's way at his spots? Does he have some new spots that no one knows about?
Yeah, but dude, I mean, a lot has been made about that one spot. I mean, that one. First of all, here's the joke of that whole fabled tale about Cory and Rubber. Cory was in the middle of the lake puking his guts out. He wasn't anywhere near that spot. So, anyways, I'm not defending the Johnstons. Trust me, they can fight their own freaking battles.
Yeah, and they do. And they do. I mean, they do. They bring it. What can you say? These are legends. Both of these guys are legends.
Easy.
In the making. Is that not true?
Sure. Yeah. No, dude, what they're doing is unfathomable. Like, never mind. Okay. No Canadians ever done what they're doing, but
few people
put them anywhere. There's like,
who cares where they're from at this point?
It's nuts. Right? I mean, and literally in the top three, all of them are that. Like, if you look at, so I had Trey on and I did research, and I'm like, he's fished at that point. He had fished 41 Bassmaster events, and he had made 19 top 10s, 30 top 20s. Like, it's stupid. And
he's batting 500.
It's wild. And if you look at all of their stats, I'm going to try to be quick right here and look at all of their stats real quickly and have a look. So Cory Johnston has fished 86 Bassmaster events. He has 31 top 10s, 44 top 20s. So basically half of the events, a much bigger sample size for him, but basically half the events that he's fished, he's top 20. Now, if you go to Drew, it's the same deal. It's like their stats look fake. He's fished 105 Bassmaster events, 34 top 20s, 20 top 10s. I mean, it's wild what they're all doing. Like, they're all, I don't think any of them have ever been out of the top 30 in Angler of the Year. Trey's stats obviously stand out, but Trey's sample size is a lot smaller. And it's going to be.
But let me turn this down. The consistency, you know, my business mentor I asked him some advice one time. He was the CEO of Walmart International for 29 years. The guy knows something about business, right? And I asked him questions and I said, what's the most important thing you look for in employees, management, in business? And he said, consistency, because consistency is either good or consistency is either bad, right? You're consistently good or you're consistently bad. And that's how you make decisions on picking the right people, whether you're in fantasy, Bassmaster fantasy or hiring people to run Walmart. And all of these guys are just consistent. It's especially the top three that we're talking about. And you look at the top 10 AOI, and it's nice to see, Cole Sands is kind of new to the top 10. Andrew Loberg, even Justin Atkins has had a phenomenal year of consistency. And you look at this top 10, it's like, it's really nice to see the people that are there, because there are traditional anglers there. There are, and we thought this was going to happen at the beginning of the year when they decided to go 50-50 or 60-40, right? So you look at the top 10 AOI and it's a mix of scopers and traditional anglers. Is that not true?
Yeah. Look in fourth, the most silent top 5 angler of the year season.
Yeah.
Oh, Bob Downey sitting in fourth place. But I think that screams, like, if you go through, you got Trey McKinney leading right now, obviously a scoper. Drew Cook, Cory Johnston, Bob Downey, Brandon Cobb, Cole Sands,
traditional,
John Garrett. I mean, both those guys are definitely scopers. Jay Securette, scope. I mean, see, here's the weird thing when you try to make this list, because I'm like, well, Jay Securette is a scoper, but he's also a lot more than that. And I can say the same thing.
Life.
I mean, dude, Cory Johnston uses a scope a lot, but he's also so ultimately, I think if you go through the list, you've got a mixture of both. You know what I mean? Jay Securette, Andrew Loberg, Justin Atkins in 10th, Paul Marks in 11th, Caleb Hudson in 12th, Patrick Walters in 13th, Seth Fighter in 14th, Chris Johnson in 15th, Jason Christie in 16th, Fisher Anaya, Tyler Williams, Kyle Welcher and Jordan Lee. That's your top 20. It's one of the most diverse top 20s I think we've ever had. Would you agree?
We kind of predicted that, did we not? I mean, not us, but a lot of people thought that was going to happen at the beginning of the year when Bass went 60-40, and here we are. I love it. I love the way this is balanced out. And now we're down to what's that?
Go ahead.
Now we're down to the final event. It's basically tied across the board. Whoever catches, I mean, this could come down to the last fish caught. And it probably will. I mean, because they're going to be fishing to the very end. They're going to be pushing the limits. None of them are going to know where they stand basically, at 1:30 or 1 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. None of them are going to know where they really, really, truly stand. And they're going to be fishing till the last second. And
you think it goes to Sunday?
Do what?
You think it goes till Sunday?
I do. I just think these guys. I mean, Trey McKinney's been here before, and he hasn't won it. So what does that mean? That's going to push his motivation and inspiration and all those things a little bit harder. He's taking everything that he did wrong in previous years to do it right this time. Drew Cook, he's as hungry as anyone. He's won tournaments. He's done well across the board. He's been very consistent. And this would mean this trophy would mean, or this position for him to win AOI would really actually, I mean, Drew Cook's been there, but this would actually solidify some things for him, because we all know he's a hammer, especially on big fish and bed fish early in the year, right? But he's been consistent all year. And Cory, what can we say about Cory? He's chasing his brother basically, but Cory's been consistent his whole life, and he's a hammer. So I just feel like I mean, I can't say mark my words, but mark my words, this is going to go down. This is going to go down till Sunday. I truly believe that. I don't see any three of those guys choking. Someone's going to win. And I mean, you could say that second or third place choked, but I don't see them choking on a rice grain. You know what I'm saying?
Avco not only makes incredible outdoor clothing, but they care about anglers with their 10% pledge. Avco and the Shed family donate at least 10% of the company's profits to conservation and making fishing better. Now back to the show.
No, it's going to be a battle. And whether it's Saturday or Sunday, it's going to, I mean, it generally is decided. A Saturday Angler of the Year decision is like it was good race. If it goes to Sunday, I don't remember it ever going to Sunday. I mean, literally, but the only way it goes to Sunday is if all of them. Well, no, they just got to be close to the top 10. So let's say in a world, Trey finishes 11th and Cory makes the top 10. It would still have to go through to Sunday because Cory could drop to 10th in the top 10, and then like what happened at the end of last event. So yeah, it's going to be fun. We'll build it all up and then what? Yes, it is possible to tie. Okay. But there is a tiebreaker. The tiebreaker, it sucks. I don't like the tiebreaker. I want it to be a fish off because it'd be so much cooler. The tiebreaker is, and let me get this correct because I actually asked about it at last event. We called Lisa live on the live cast. We texted about some other stuff.
Like what, Dave?
No, I was just. So it gets broken by total weight in full field days. So whatever their total weight is in full field days, meaning you take out cuts from it. So the first 2 days of every event, whoever got the most total weight, they would win Angler of the Year. Now, if that were tied, which it's not going to be, but if that were tied, then we would have a fish off. But I think we should just have a fish off anyways, because how freaking awesome would that be? Like, you know, like we're having a freaking fish off for Angler of the Year. Like that.
Yeah, that would be
we're building this all
biter.
up. Watch what's going to happen. One of them's going to go wreck 29 pounds on day one. The other two are going to get 6 pounds. And and we're gonna be like, wah, wah, wah. Not really.
I mean, I just think there's so many fish in that system that I just don't see any one of them. They've all fished there before. They've got their waypoints. They've got their strategies. And I just feel like they're all going to catch 5 fish a day, and they're all going to be big fish. Who catches the biggest bag on the last day is going to determine this race. That's what I think. That's my prediction. And I'm not betting. I mean, everyone wants to bet and lay all their money on Cory, but then you look at the other two and you go Drew Cook and Trey McKinney, you're like, you know, I'm not. You got to bet on Cory because that's his home pond, if you want to call that a pond. But the weather is going to play a role in this. I just got back from the Lake Erie Open, and it was scary. I'm not going to lie. And, you know, all I could think about there on Saturday was, you know, this is what Lake Ontario is going to look like. I just don't think Mother Nature is going to allow this to go down on a glass lake. I think it's going to be, you got to go, bro. And where are you going to go? How are you going to deal with that? And I feel like this is going to be this could be one of it already is, but it could be the most exciting finish to an AOI of the Angler of the Year standings ever in the history of Bassmaster. And how cool is that?
Yeah, it's going to be huge. And I mean, I get what everyone's saying about Cory, but I said it last week on live and I kind of stand behind it. This is Cory's I mean, if Cory doesn't win Angler of the Year, he will forever look back and say, I lost Angler of the Year. I was given the opportunity, like you're Cory Johnston, you're within 2 points of the lead. There's one event left. You're on the St. Lawrence River. Everything on paper says you should win this. But that also puts all the pressure squarely on his shoulders. In a lot of ways, it takes pressure off of Trey's shoulders. It takes pressure off of Drew's shoulders. Not that they don't want, but they know. I mean, there's an out if this doesn't happen for them. For Cory, there's no out. Like for Cory, I mean, this is it. I mean,
Super Bowl. This is like, a quarter. Troy Aikman. Let's go back some years, or we take whoever, whatever. A current quarterback in the NFL makes it to the Super Bowl, and the Super Bowl just happens to be in his hometown, or is there on their home field, and all the pressure's on him. But I still think there's a ton of pressure on Trey and Drew because of what's at stake for them too. Because how many times do you have this opportunity?
No, I agree. There's pressure on them, but is there more pressure on Cory, or is there more pressure on them?
I don't know, man.
Let me ask you this: come Sunday, if Drew Cook wins or Trey wins, what do you say to Cory?
I love you, man.
If Cory wins, what do you say to Trey and Drew?
You'll get him next year.
He got you, dude. He got you. You came to his home pond and he got you.
True.
I mean, it's a different feeling to me. Like, and you can't compare it even to, I get the football analogy, but in my opinion, a home field advantage is one thing, but this is fishing. I mean, and even the weather has set up to help. In some ways, Cory, like, dudes haven't been out on the lake for the first 2 days of practice for the most part, the majority of them, because you couldn't get out there. Cory's got all those years of knowledge. So that puts all the pressure on him. That should help him. But I will also say a few days off that lake, a few less days stinging fish will make this fireworks too. Like, I mean, I can't wait to see what happens. I mean, I still stand by all the pressures on Cory Johnston. If he doesn't win it, it was hit. I mean, but gosh,
it's true. It's true.
I can't bet against any of them, man. It's the dream. It's what, I mean, I hope our Angler of the Year races this every single year.
Me too.
But it won't be. It won't be. So enjoy it, people.
Exactly. Because if it were, this wouldn't feel like it does, right?
Yeah. What do you think it feels like for them? Like, what do you think Thursday morning's going to feel like for them? Do you think they're all going to be flatline, or do you you're in the boat with them?
No.
What do you think? How do you think you've been in the boat with all three of them? How do you think the three of their mornings will be?
To be honest, I have not been in the boat with Cory Johnston.
He doesn't like you, I heard.
Oh, I want to go out with Cory, but as time goes on, camera guys, like we've talked about before, build these relationships, and other people have been with Cory many times. And so,
ain't nobody building a relationship with Cory Johnston.
Camera guys do. We're his best friend.
I'm just joking.
No, I know. I think that it's almost like it's their first tournament all over again, because there's from a personal standpoint and a professional standpoint, this means everything. Everybody always says this is the most important trophy to win because it defines your consistency throughout a year. And, you listen to what Swindle has said about winning 2, listen to what Brandon Polnick has said about winning 2. There's something really special about the AOI trophy, and it just boosts your career and confidence takes it to a different level. And So I feel like them going out on Thursday morning, there's going to be lots of nervousness going on. Every day that goes by, if they all three of them stay in the top 10 over the next, or at least close to each other in the standings in the top 20 or whatever it is, the closer you get to Sunday, the more nervous they get. And if all three of them land in the top 10 on Sunday, there's no freaking way that any three of them are going to be flatline calm going out on Sunday morning. It's going to be nerves. What if something goes wrong with one of their boats? The weather, there's just all kinds of stuff that can happen.
And we've seen it happen there.
You think Koike is going to come into play?
Yeah. I mean, it has every event. So why wouldn't it? I think probably, I don't know. I don't know. There's part of me that thinks, yeah, sure, somebody's going to use a drop shot it out there and they're going to catch. I mean, sure, too many people are throwing it for not to play. Honestly, I don't know that it will dominate the way it has. I mean, here's the one thing. Let's ask Cory Johnston, because if he tells you it's not going to play, it'll play. Because that's what he told me last event. It won't play. And the very first fish I see him catch, his exact words were, it'll play because a lot of guys are throwing it, but it ain't going to be tied on the end of my rod. The first fish I see him catch on live is on that. And then him and his brother all Sunday catch the crap out of them on that. So I'm sure it will play. I mean, it seems to play everywhere. Do you agree, or what do you think?
I don't know, man. I mean,
we'll find out. Another question.
There you go. Something to talk about when this is all over.
And there's a lot on the line in so many different ways. You got Bo Browning and some others fighting for their Elite Series career. What he did in the last event was amazing. Now he needs to back it up with, and that's pro fishing in general. Like all of a sudden you're like, whew, I got a top 10, his first top 10 in perfect timing. Well, guess what? Now you need a top 30, or that top 10 is just a good memory to stay on the Elite Series. So there's a lot of pressure. That's the tough part of this week. We're going to see some people leave the Elite Series.
It's always tough
forever. And that's tough, especially when it's not your choice. We're going to see somebody, we're going to celebrate Iaconelli choosing to leave, choosing to retire. He's got a big party on Saturday night that he's getting ready to kick off. So that'll be fun. And it'll be cool to celebrate, but a little different feeling when you're making the choice like Ike is, because that's rare in any sport to be able to make the choice. Generally, the choice is made for you on the field. The choice is made for you in the standings, and that's a lot tougher. Avco not only makes incredible outdoor clothing, but they care about anglers with their 10% pledge. Avco and the Shed family donate at least 10% of the company's profits to conservation and making fishing better. Now back to the show.
Yeah, I haven't forgotten about that, but there are times when you're not thinking about that because you're thinking about the top 3, the event, and all that. I'll say a couple things. There are in the last event of every season, there are always so many little small highlights or career. What is the word I'm looking for? There's so many things on the line, careers, everything. And those things get hidden behind either the AOY or, who's going to win this tournament. And I feel for all those people. And it's always really sad to see people go because you build friendships with everyone on tour. And then you go to a completely different level of how do I feel about this with someone like Mike Iaconelli. The first thing I'll say about it is that I'm just honored that my career happened to overlap sort of the end and then the twilight of Mike Iaconelli's career. And when I was a kid, he was the guy that not everyone, but traditionalists hated because he brought the flat bill breakdancing. He was Eminem before Eminem was Eminem. And he did it on the front of a bass boat, and it kind of breaks my heart to see him go. I wish him well. And if he ever watches this, I just want him to know that it was an honor to cover him and an honor to be a part of his career in the bass world. And he is a standing icon, forever will be. And he has meant a ton to this sport because he changed things in so many ways.
Yeah. And I think this season, it stood out even more for me, just how special he is to our sport. Like every time we've had him on camera, and I mean, Ike's career is, there's highs so high, and there is lows so it is an emotional roller coaster, and
he shows it.
And he shows it. But I'm going to tell you, the youth of the world needs to watch what Ike's doing. And just watch how good he is at what he does and how proficient he is. And I'm not talking about when people say you got to act like Ike and you got to – I'm not telling people to break dance. I'm not telling people to headbutt their windshield. I'm not telling people to do –
throw rods in the water and all that stuff.
Like all the crazy stuff he's done over the years. You know what I mean? Take your shoe off. Like you name it. Spit in fish's face. With all the crazy things. That's not what stands out to me with Ike. Those are moments that get polarizing and whatever. But what stands out to me is just how good he is at explaining things and just how good. Like that's what made me fall in love with the sport. People like that. And in some ways, I will say the last number of years, some of our young anglers have gotten away from that. And part of that is their age. Part of that is they're just not. They're getting success earlier in their career. But watch what Ike did. Ike built what he built because of what he gave, not just because he won tournaments, but it's because of what he gave. And he is an amazing figure, and the Elite Series will desperately miss him next year.
Amen, dude.
He's so good on camera, and he better win the fan vote for the camera on Thursday. If he doesn't, we have to have a camera with him. I'm going to go out.
I just got goosebumps when you said that. He has got to be the fan vote for a cameraman. And where was it? All these tournaments blend together now, but I was covering him. God, was it last year or this year where he caught a 5-pounder on that dock? And he went back to his old self where he was like, yeah. He was yelling, and I almost broke down into tears because that was the Iaconelli that I remember as a young man, watching him come up in his career with the flat bill cap, the flames on his hat and the boat, all that stuff. And it came screaming back to me in that moment while I was covering him. And while he's yelling, the two people that own the house and the dock that we were at where he caught that 5-pounder, they came down and they're like, "Are you okay?" They thought someone had gotten injured or died. And he goes, "Oh yeah, I just caught a big fish. Yeah." And it was just one of those iconic Iaconelli moments. And like you said, it's about what he's given to the sport, not what he's taken from the sport. And that's what I'll always remember about the Mike Iaconelli of Bassmasters, what he's given to all of us and how he changed the culture of bass fishing.
Yeah. He is a trailblazer, an amazing human being, and I look forward to celebrating him. And hey, Ike, I hope you screw up your party on Saturday and you make the top 10 on Sunday, because that would be awesome to me. I mean,
oh man,
let's have all three in the top angler of the year race in the top 10. Let's throw let's have a little.
If I were to pray,
because I mean, why not? Going to Disneyland. I mean, it's this week's setting up to be a very, very special week.
If I could pray for one thing in general about this last tournament at the St. Lawrence River, it would be for Mike Iaconelli to be in the top 10 on Sunday in his last tournament with Bass. That would be the one. If I had to prioritize prayers and one thing, I could only pray for and hope for one thing, it would be to see Mike Iaconelli in the top 10.
Oh,
how cool would that be?
I don't think I could get through the top 10 intros on Saturday without bawling. But it would be awesome. It would be awesome. So yeah, we got a great freaking week coming up if the weather will allow us, because it is going to be nasty. It's such a weird body of water, man. All of them. I mean, you spent time on Erie. You're going to spend more time on Ontario this week, but I spend all my time on those lakes, and it blows me away because I'm like, you go out there some days, you're like, man, this is just such a beautiful flat, just water's so clear. I can run from here to here. And then you go and you're like, how is it possible this is like hell? Like if you look what the guys are pre-fishing in, I mean, good. And they still catch them. That just shows how crazy that place is.
It's, I remember one event where I covered Zaldane on lake, and we went out to the lake, and it was literally like the Bahamas. All the birds were on the water. You get up to one of those sand islands, and it looks like a tropical island in the Bahamas. The sky's blue. There might be a sailboat or two out there, and you can see the bottom, and you can actually see the gobies on the rocks, all those things. And then the next day it looks like freaking typhoon, damn, tsunami, cray Thailand.
Yeah, no, it's trust me, but that's part of the reason it's as good as it is, because Mother Nature protects it a good percentage of the year, whether it be the winter, whether it be the blow days like that. I mean, how many boats are on Lake Ontario last few days? Not very many. I mean, a few crazy Elite Series guys went out there, but it's. And that's also going to be fun. I mean, we want everyone to be safe, but there's always that caveat of, hey, you got to get back and it's real there. We've seen Cory Johnston, things unravel for him there. We've seen it happen for everybody. You know what I mean? We've seen, Angler of the Year races, and how I go back to, another body of water just like that, the other end of Erie. But Amart shears the bolts off his outboard on the way back when he won his last Angler of the Year title, but he wins that tournament that Chris Lane won. If Amart makes it back, he wins that tournament, and it's a different story. So we've seen it so many times.
Welcher's boat breaking down a few years ago, having to borrow. We were 17 miles from the dock, and his engine goes down. And Justin Atkins, of all people, in the top 10 this year, comes out there, brings his boat to Welcher. Or no, I forget how we got in. We switched boats, and Atkins he runs Lowrance Active Target, and Welcher was running Garmin LiveScope. And he gets out there and he's like, how does he even see fish with this thing? And so he's literally not seeing the fish. No offense to Lowrance, because this was a few years ago, but he's not seeing the fish, but he identifies the boulders that he knew the fish were on. He catches his fish after a 3-hour delay way out in the middle of, where we were, and makes it back and wins Angler of the Year. There's just so many things that can go wrong and so many things that these guys have to adapt to make go right. Because when something goes wrong, you got to make that wrong or right, or you're out of it totally. And these guys just don't give up. I mean, you know, how many times they're going to fish to the last second, and they're going to push it knowing how long it's going to take under the worst conditions to get back from a 25 or wherever it is, a 2-hour run. No, we're out of Clayton this year, however long it's going to take them to get from that waypoint back to the dock, check in with 30 seconds to go. That's how this is going to go down.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. We're out of Clayton. We're at a different venue in Clayton, a bigger venue. We're not at the boat museum, so we're out at the point in Clayton. Not a big town. It won't be hard to find us. But so tell your friends, show your family. Let's jam this place. Let's celebrate Ike and Ellie. Let's celebrate so many great careers. Let's have a fun finish to the season. And I do want to talk to you about one other topic, though. And we're going to have to go out on a risk here because I have no idea. But and I normally don't address this stuff, but it seems crazy to me as we go through Angler of the Year and we talk about how great this Angler of the Year race has been, how fun the season's been. I mean, coming off a few seasons where we had some unrest, I would say, amongst anglers wanting things one way or another way, I would say things have been much more content. I mean, they're anglers. There's always going to be something, but there should be, because it's their job to try and make it better. But I would say that things are probably a lot smoother than they've been, and I would say
at least in the last 2 years, for sure.
Yeah. But the craziest thing is the internet now has floated this rumor, and hey, if I find out that it's true, I mean, I don't know, and it maybe. But it just seems insane to me that the internet's floated this rumor that Bass is going to go back to all forward-facing sonar events, which, dude, nobody tells me and you anything. But to me, that sounds insane. Like, I will go on record and say it, and I'll gladly come on this podcast and be like, I was wrong. You're all right. I'm stupid. You're smart. But to me, that's insane. Like,
why would they? Why would we?
They? Like, I think Bass has figured out the right formula. Like, if anything, make it 50-50, legit 50-50, not 60-40. Figure out what you're going to do with the Classic, and let's roll on, because we are celebrating to compete for Angler of the Year. Guess what? You got to catch them both ways. I mean,
I've run a Yamaha outboard for over 30 years. It has got me home safe each and every time. If you enjoy this podcast, remember, Yamaha supports it, and they care enough about you to make this ad read very short. Now back to the show.
I remember when I'm not calling him out, but I'm going to identify this. I can't remember where we were, probably Santee Cooper. I was covering Brandon Cobb on day one a few years ago, or maybe it was day two, whatever it was. And he and I had this conversation, and that's when the real hate started in the division amongst the anglers started about live scope. And I remember Brandon Cobb really being boisterous about, like, I hate it. I hate this. This is not fishing. And he was very personally direct with me about how he felt about it. And now look at him. He's in the top 5 of AOY this year. And I'm really glad to see him there because of that conversation that we had on the boat a few years ago about this entire controversy. So, we're getting back to some balance. We figured out, how to deal with this issue. And yes, you do see every time you see someone make a comment about, in a traditional event that we've had, where all those live scope hammers everyone's talking about. And then you look at the top 20 and you're like, there they are. There's 5 or 6 of them right there. There's one, Trey McKinney's always there. And it's like, dude, you have no argument. This is as balanced probably as we've ever been, and particularly in the live scope era. And just enjoy it. Just shut up and go fishing, man. I quit watching.
That is totally going to be the title of this podcast. Just shut up and go fishing.
There you go. We just coined it, baby. I mean, I quit watching the news not a long time ago, but say 6 or 7 months ago, because I just couldn't deal with the BS anymore. And I'm about to quit watching the internet for the same reason.
No, it's true. It's true. It's crazy. To me, I mean, but Greg Hackney was on last week's podcast, and a lot of people loved what Greg had to say. And what Greg said was 100% correct in every single way. But what other people are saying, like, you have to find a way to balance both. You can't just, I mean, and who knows what it'll work out in the future. But I know for right now, to me, the 50-50 has given us one of the most entertaining, fun to cover seasons ever. And I'll be honest, you look what it doesn't, and it's easy to say, okay, well, why don't we just go no forward facing sonar? And we could, because guess what? I loved the sport before forward facing sonar, so I know I would love it still. But there's also amazing things happening there. You know, we saw a season where in the first two events, we saw Hank win with a freaking chartreuse grub, chartreuse pepper grub. Like that is as old school as it gets. And a week later, water. And a week later, we saw Fisher Anaya win by shaking his bait out of a smaller fish's mouth so a bigger fish could bite it on forward-facing sonar. Both of those things equally blew my mind, and that's what this season has been. We've got a lot of that, and I personally don't mind forward-facing sonar. I do not think it should be the be-all, end-all. I don't think it should be a contest of who's best at that. Just like I don't think it should be a contest as who's best with a flipping jig. Like, you want to have anglers challenged in every way, and I think that this season has done that. So this is my way of saying, if there's any truth to those rumors, please think again. Because that'd be insane to me. It would just be nuts.
I can't believe that's going to happen either, dude.
No, but it'll make a bitchin' podcast if it does. Me and you. Well, turns out we told you we don't know what the hell we're talking about.
Tell you what, I'm going to shoot a crow and I'll cook it and I'll send you half of it.
It's just, but hey, it makes for a great internet title, you know, like Bass is the devil. It's so strange, but there's so much to celebrate.
I can't wait. I cannot wait. My flight leaves at 8:55 tomorrow morning. I have a direct flight into Syracuse, then an hour and a half drive up to Clayton, and I cannot wait to get there. The Lake Erie event that I just covered was sort of a warm up because the water was big, and I feel like that's what's going to happen when we get there if the weather pattern stays the same. And so I'm just looking forward to it. The more times we go out in that stuff, the more comfortable I get, the more comfortable I see the anglers getting that have never, you know, they're becoming more and more experienced at that, because we used to go out to the mouth of the St. Lawrence River and there would be a few guys go out, and most people were fishing under the bridge or fishing big rocks and heavy current. And now it's lake. If you're in the top 10, you're going out on the lake. It doesn't matter what the weather is. So I can't wait to get there, man.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. And that's the other cool element. Nobody can play small ball in this event. Like, if you can't play it safe. You know what I mean? If you want to win Angler of the Year, if you want to compete, like, you got to go to the lake, and it's going to be fun. Can't wait.
Yep.
So yeah, good times. See you there.
Always see you there, man. I can't wait.
Hey, special shout out to you guys. Haven't done crap yet. Well, you've done lots all season long, but dude, going out to the lake is rough. It's tough. It's hard on you. It's hard on your equipment, but it is harder on nobody. Nobody is it harder on than the camera guys. So all of you guys, for everything that they put up with last week on Lake Erie and everything the camera guys are going to put up with this week, it is amazing to me how you are able to look through a little hole and not end up puking. Like that is, and sometimes they do. So to all the camera guys, true warriors, yourself excluded, way to go.
Hey,
You're
all you
warrior,
anglers, all you anglers in the top 10 this weekend, please bring both butt seats because it is very helpful in that kind of weather and those kinds of waves. It's very helpful for us to be able to lean on it. We don't sit down and rest. We just lean on it so we have a center of balance at the back of the boat. So please bring your butt seats.
And you guys will see you in Clayton, New York. See you, Jake.
See you, bro.
As always, a great take from Jake. I mean, that's a professional segue. At least according to me, it is. Fun conversation. Going to be a crazy fun week in Clayton, New York. I hope to see a bunch of you there. There's also all sorts of stuff going on with the NFL Hall of Fame. There's a Pro-Am on Monday after the event. So there's all sorts of stuff going on. Mercer in the Morning will be kicking off each and every morning at 6 a.m. Around 6 a.m. Takeoff time is 7. So we're going to be about an hour before that. Make sure to turn on the ringy dingy thing on YouTube, because it goes live on YouTube and Facebook before anywhere else. We get it up on Instagram when they allow us to afterwards. But last event, we had some issues with that. They won't let us go live for some reason. I don't know. So if you want to make sure to get it first, make sure to get over here to Facebook and subscribe and turn on the ringy dingy thingy. That sounded weird. Yeah, there's lots going on. Got to thank everybody that tunes in each and every week. Last week's show, first of all, I got to talk. I mean, Greg Hackney came out with fire. But what screamed in it to me, he is just such an eloquent, cool way of communicating. The way he says things, he speaks to us as anglers, I think. And I think that's why so many people kind of, we're like, listen to Hackney go. And the whole time I'm watching, every time we have him on live, I'm like, yeah, I want more of that. So here's my wish. I hope it's many years from now, but I pray that the one day when Greg Hackney decides to hang him up and not fish the Elite Series anymore, I pray we get him on board Bassmaster as a commentator, because he's got that magic way of communicating. I mean, I would never compare anyone to Zona, but there's a lot of Zona in Hackney. And I mean that as the world's biggest compliment. I mean, they both have just such a unique, cool perspective and way to communicate. And I, as a fan, want to hear what they have to say. And I, as a guy who works for Bass, I want to work with that. I mean, so yeah, but let's hope it's a long, long time from now. So Greg, you catch him this week. And hey, remember, whoever wins this tournament, we haven't even talked about it. Whoever wins this tournament is automatically qualified for the Bassmaster Classic. So you're going to have a bunch of dudes. This is their eraser. They can erase a bad season with a big finish here. Cooper Gallant literally spent a month pre-fishing on this body of water because it's his only shot at the Classic. There's a bunch of guys in the boat with that. You got people fighting for their career. You got people fighting to stay in the Classic, to get back in the Classic. You've got so much on the line. Rookie of the Year, Angler of the Year, all of it going down this week in Clayton, New York. It's going to be a fun one. As this conversation has been a fun one, I hope this podcast has done its job this week, and that is to distract you from the real stresses of the world, because here we debate very important topics, because we are involved in a very important sport where we decide who caught the 5 biggest fish that day. It's very serious. Have a great week, and I want to remind you, everybody is fighting a battle. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not happening. Humpers, go out in the world, be kind, spread happiness. Say hello to a friend. Reach out to somebody you haven't talked to in years. You'll feel better because they feel better. And ultimately, everybody will feel better. It's kind of sounding like an after-school special now. It really is. But be nice, and you wouldn't need to have after-school specials. Do they even have after-school specials anymore? Is it just, it's after school, I get to do this. Anyways, Have a great week. Enjoy being. Until next time, Bob Cobb, take it away.
Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe because Bob Cobb of the Bassmasters told you to. You hear?